So I suppose it must be apparent we sit right at the crossroads of technology and media, and that space is continually changing. So we're having to update, as everyone is, I guess, now with technology change, we have to update our business continually. So in terms of how we source our content and our contributors, we have something like about 150,000 contributors worldwide. And we were doing a project at work trying to have a look at our sort of regional spread. And turns out that of the 195 countries, I think it is, in the world, we have contributors in 180. So what that really does illustrate is how technology has brought image making out of the realm of the professional and has made it available to the masses, I suppose. So looking a bit closer at who our contributors are. So really the traditional professional photographers were the original sort of lifeblood of the stock industry. And you know, the best of those guys still work very closely with us, with our internal creative teams, to produce our sort of pre-shot content. I suppose these are the guys who have been most affected by the changes in technology and the availability of new camera technology to amateurs. People who do travel photography, landscape photography have kind of been consumed by the flickers, which we'll talk about in a second. So crowdsourced contributors, this is where you start going into that area of where technology has really made a big change. You know, the largest microstock company that we own, which is microstock, is kind of, in terms of quality, is the strata below, I guess, traditional stock, or that's the way it's perceived anyway. And iStock has over 80,000 contributors and was founded on the idea of crowdsourcing, of pulling images in from amateur photographers, and then the business grew out of sharing those pictures, that community sharing those pictures. So that's a fascinating evolution in the industry. It really turned the industry on its head, and I guess we're glad we bought that one. So yeah, I mentioned Flickr. Flickr is the best example of a photo sharing site that we've worked with closely. And the reason why it's been really good for us is, if you can imagine that photographers are continually trying to create the right content for a marketplace, what tends to happen is that that sort of content tends to stagnate a little bit and starts to look very much the same. So what's been so good about Flickr is that that content is created without any sort of commercial end point in mind. And that lends it this kind of originality that we were not getting through our standard sort of traffic of stock imagery. So that's been a great bonus for us to have that one working with us. So essentially those guys are amateurs who are interested in making a bit of money. And it's great to see photographers, you know, in far-flung places like Singapore, India, non-traditional markets, earning a lot of money out of their content. And for some of those guys, it's actually been life-changing, which has been great to see. So obviously, you have the editorial or news, sport, entertainment side of our business, and those contributors, a lot of them are staff photographers, and the way that they deliver their imagery to us is satellite technology, internet, obviously. And then we have a few large collections, archives of imagery. The biggest one of those is the Holton, which has over 20 million pictures, I think, currently. It has many more that we haven't even looked at yet. There are boxes of imagery from, you know, the 1880s, the 1860s that just are still sitting there, but the job of going through, opening them up, digitizing them, it's a big art.